Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Embrace your feminine power. You know, there was a tantrum master. He said something that always stuck to me, right? He said, men are men, and so are the women. And what he meant by that was so many women are doing stuff in a masculine manner out here, right? And it's really, a lot of women think that's power. They think, hey, I can do what the men do and everything. I can be that corporate head, or I can be that firefighter. And there's even young lady, she got a 4-year scholarship to play on a men's football team, right? And that's it is what it is, right? Sign of the times and stuff, right? But what's happening is a lot of women are embracing masculine energy, right? But the same women, they're not looking to being in a relationship with another woman or something, right? This is kind of different. The same women want a mate. They want a man. They want to have a family. All of that, right? Okay, fine. But then they have trouble with that, right? They have trouble with it because, okay, the women in their masculine energy, and then it's a funny thing that happens. Women in their masculine energy have trouble dealing with a man in his feminine energy, right? Because of that thing called polarity. Like if you have in any relationship, one has to be more masculine, one has to be more feminine. Even in a homosexual relationship, you're going to have the male energy and the female energy, right? So if you have a woman who's in her male energy, right? She trying to deal with a man. She can only deal with a man in his female energy. But then there's a part of women who want that man with masculine energy. Right? So, because every time I see a woman who's in her male energy dealing with a man in his female energy, there's always trouble. Even if they get married or something, she's not fulfilled. Right? She's not fulfilled. Indeed, part of the sexual underworld I talk about a lot, you have women who will pay men to dominate them. Who will pay them to dominate them. They was the type of be like, they will look for a man who they can be like, yes, sir, yes, daddy, to. In fact, it's a game some players use. Their sole purpose is to dominate the woman, make her feel like a woman, right? So they have trouble with that man with the female energy. And of course, the man with the male energy, they can't figure out why they can't connect with him. That's because you have two magnets. Male energy is going to repel male energy. The most a woman with masculine energy can do with another man of masculine energy is be business partners or buddies. But the relationship polarity is not there. And this is bigger than any political thing. You can try some politics or whatever. You can say, well, the men should do this. And no, it's not going to happen. The law of nature is older than everything. So the law of nature itself gave women the power to attract masculine men. And that's being in feminine power, right? And I know it's tough out here, but women have to find a way to embrace it, right? Because I'm going to tell you what, for a woman, feminine power is one of the most powerful forces. It inspires cooperation, By a woman being in her feminine power, I've always said, and I'll say this again, women hustle backwards if they really want money or they really want to do stuff. They hustle backwards because they try to do it in a masculine energy, which actually hurts women. Many women can't have children because their energy is too hot. For a woman to really get pregnant, she has to have a certain eternal environment. And that's brought about by certain postures, a certain feminine energy, a receptive and soft energy. Like the earth, like a metaphor, an analogy rather. The earth, in order to take a seed and grow it into a big tree, it has to be two things. It has to be able to be penetrated, so it has to be soft. And then it has to like be able to hold that seed and bring it up. And that's a big issue. And maybe Western culture will catch up and figure out, hey, maybe we can reverse this low birth rate if more women like change the type of work they do. Now, this is not to say, a woman can't go out here and work and do all of that. It's just the type of work, right? It should be more in line with female energy and feminine energy, right? It's the man, like women should be doing stuff that's more of a gathering nature or more managing a resource nature, right? Like, and this is a whole totally different conversation. Like, ironically, two industries with women with strong feminine energy can actually dominate and really should be running is like the banking industry and the healthcare industry. Healthcare is what? Nurturing, healing energy. Banking is what? Managing resources. Right? Now other aspects of those industries maybe should be male dominated, like stuff that requires more active energy, not passive but going out there doing stuff. Men should be dominating. But see, that gets into a whole deeper conversation. But my point is, a woman in her feminine power, that's her real power. She's aligned with what her body is built to do. And here's the thing, and here's the analogy I use. Like a woman trying to get into a man's house, right? A woman in masculine energy, she got to try to bang and break that door down, force her way in, right? A woman in her feminine energy, all she has to do, she can just walk up, he'll open the door. Men will always cooperate with female energy. And that female energy is not just, that feminine power is just not the same as, you can't look at it the same way. It's something that inspires cooperation from men. I'm going to tell a story, right? When I was younger, I did my little bad stuff. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't terrible. But, any normal kid, at least coming up when I was coming up, was going to get into some stuff. Now, I'm at this school that wasn't the school I went to. So I'm basically being truant from one school, hanging out at another school. That's an irony. I should have been hanging out someplace else. And I might have done that quite a few times when I was younger, right? I don't know. I was bored with school, though. I was one of those kids bored with school, but that's another conversation, all right? So I went up to the school to see a friend of mine, right? And this fine sister who turned out to be the principal, she encountered me. Now, she didn't yell at me. She didn't scream at me. She knew I ain't go to school. Any good principal gonna know who belong in her school and that, right? She came and she put her arms around me with her fine self. She put her arms around me, started talking soft, right? I put my arm around her waist. She was fine. I was like, yeah, boy. And she just talked nice and soft. And you're like, hey, how you doing? She ain't yell at me, anything. She didn't even ask my name. Next thing you know, I'm standing outside. Like, damn, how this happen? But I thought about that. I admired her. I liked how she did it. She didn't scream. She didn't be like, I'm gonna do this. She didn't do all of that. She did that nice little soft cooperative thing. All of a sudden, boom. And plus, she didn't know me. She didn't know me. I could have been some little thug kid or something. But she diffused that. And I've known quite a few women, they would use that feminine energy. They could diffuse a man. Like I always said, a really, truly powerful woman who's really in her femininity, she can be quiet. She can walk in a room full of the most rah-rah men and they'll calm down in about 5 minutes. And here's the scary part. It's not even so much, like I said, it's not always a sexual thing. Because, that's part of the feminine energy, the sexual pleasure thing. But another part of the energy is the nurturing thing. And in fact, indeed, sometimes that nurturing energy is more powerful than the sexual thing. And then there's also that part of a woman that knows a man in such a way that, she can kind of guide him along, all right? Without him really realizing it's happening. That's feminine energy too. And then just a gathering thing, or maybe, that support energy of a guy who's in business. That's feminine energy, but it's powerful. Like, I remember, when I was still married, we were part of my spouse was a part of this group that was a group of stay-at-home mothers. Right? And it struck me with the men in the group. The men were willing to work 2 and 3 jobs just so their, mothers could stay home and deal with the children. That's feminine energy right there. Instead of these women going out have to deal with daycare, by being in their energy, sitting back, allowing the men to be, letting the men do what they're going to do naturally. Shoot, they were able to chill out, spend time with the children, bond with the children, have a great bond. Because they weren't giving most of their time to some corporate entity. It's powerful. It's powerful. But see, one of the problems is, and ladies, y'all got to deal with this from other women. You get a group of women out there, they want to embrace masculine energy, but it's not working. It's not working on a practical thing. Like I said, the feminine energy is more powerful. Men will hand over everything. Men will go out and work 2 jobs and still make sure that you're comfortable. He still will be motivated to make love to you. He'll make sure everything stays fixed around that house. To me, it's more powerful. Like, a man will not do that with a woman in her masculine energy. He's going to fight every step of the way if he even managed to get into a relationship with her. And trust me, he will cheat. Like, if I see 2 women, one's in her feminine power and the other's in her masculine power, right? The woman, now any woman can get cheated on, of course, but if somebody said, Ron, which one's more likely to have a mate cheat on, I'm gonna point to the one with the masculine one, right? And usually, if man cheats on a woman in her feminine power, it's usually because he was stupid. Just be honest with you, he was just stupid, or he didn't want to be honest about what he wanted to do. But that's not really on the woman. See, a woman in her feminine power has a better chance of keeping a man around. In fact, that's why I say, if women, like I say, the feminine thing is more than just sex. Like, I've known a lot of women who had a nurturing sense to them. They always keep dudes around them. Like, you got they can be young boys. They will always run and do stuff. Like, when women want to know how she can get a man or influence a man, it's the feminine power that does it. The masculine power don't do it, or trying to yell or try to tell the man to do something or try to shame him. That's not feminine. Feminine power doesn't have to ask about it. Understand that. Feminine power, though, and this is, y'all know this is a constant theme with me, but I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm like, get into that femininity. Shoot, even if I'm going to tell you how powerful it is. You can have a plain look, but if you got that power, the guy, he stops. And I've never seen it to fail. That's why sometimes you see, like, you see some guy, he can get like supermodel of the world and all of that, but he might be with some plain Jane. And I've never seen it to fail. Every time I see it and people are like, how he get her? I was like, she's probably peaceful. She's probably peaceful. Because ultimately, one of the most powerful things that feminine power brings is peace. In fact, so powerful. I'm going to talk about it some more. I don't know. I might have covered it before, but it's like one of those things that I have to emphasize. Like, women, I don't know. Like I said, I just think, I'm serious. I'm going to be real with y'all. Too many women hustle backwards. Stop trying to follow the political laws, right? Or the social mores. Follow the laws of nature. However you choose to worship God, he, she, it gave you everything you need to draw a man. He gave it. There's no woman that should be walking around without a man. It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be. That power, man, that power is powerful. I mean, shoot. Seriously, I've known men who would call women bitches, talk women down, but they get around those same men who will get around a truly feminine woman who's in her power will calm down, will act like he got sense. I've never seen it to fail. I don't know how many times it's worked on me. right? Because we want that energy. It's a natural thing, right? So anyway, just heed what I'm saying. Seriously, work on it. Work on it. That's where your power is. Use your power. Don't try to use my power. The man's way of doing things is how he was created to do things. Use the power you were created to wield. Trust me, society will be a different place. You know, we need men to be men and women to be women. So that's all I got for you. I'll talk to you later. Peace and blessings.